Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Magic Maker project for hobby hoppers. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Steph. I'm a paper crafter and card maker from Brisbane, Queensland, and I'm on the creative team for Hobby Hoppers, a small business based in Melbourne. Part of my job as a magic maker is making projects to share with you, and today I have this adorable pop-up card tutorial. Let's get started. To make this card, I used the platform pop-up die set, the new paint splatter background, the canvas and easel die set, and the art supplies die set. And my new favourite stamp set, Just Add Glitter. All of these were purchased from Hobby Hoppers. I'll ensure to leave the links below and on my blog post for this project. My first step was to cut my platform base pieces from some white cardstock. I'm then using some bright Distress Oxide inks and my paint splatter stencil to decorate. These colours are my favourite for a bold or really bright coloured rainbow. I'm using candied apple, picked raspberries, mustard seed, twisted citron, peacock feathers and seedless preserves. I'm inking up a bit of a rainbow here, going back and forth with my colours to ensure a nice even blend. I do this on both pieces of cardstock, and I'm mostly just playing around with this stencil as it's the first time I've used it. Once my stencil work is done, I'm going to add some splatters of my own using some watercolour pigments. It's no secret that I love Lawn Fawn, but one of my other top favourites that Hobby Hoppers stocks would have to be these watercolours. Today I'm using the colourful gem set and the white gold from my starry set. I sprinkle these all over to fill in the larger white gaps where there are no stenciled splatters. From some Lawn Fawn white wood grain cardstock, I cut the easel and the little stool. I also cut this little paint palette, but in the end I didn't end up using it. I added some tea dye Distress Oxide ink to these to make them all brown. I love that you can do this on the white cardstock to create any colour you need, but then you still get to keep that awesome wood grain texture. For my little canvas today, I'm doing a very simple diagonal rainbow, using all the ink colours I had previously used with my stencil. Once finished, I sprinkled some white gold watercolour pigment and let it sit aside to dry. I glued this piece onto my canvas. I'm not sure what to call it. I'm sure it's meant to be a paint blob or something along the lines of that, but I've inverted it for this card so that it remains white to help my sentiment pop. It's a risky move gluing it before stamping, but I felt I really needed the extra border that the canvas gives to help hold it down with my magnets in my stamping platform. And a few other stamps from my Lawn Fawn stash. Today my sentiment is going to be the quote, "There are no mistakes in art." I put it all together using my Harold's ABC stamps. Gotta love that I base a card off the quote that contains "There are no mistakes," but I immediately make a mistake by accidentally stamping one of my S's upside down. Or maybe I did it on purpose to prove a point. You'll never know, and neither will I. I really love this quote, and since being a part of the crafty community, I have had so many private conversations with others and seen lots of crafters posting about how they'd love to share their work, but they're worried about what other people would think, or they're worried it might not be as good as others have made, or they've made mistakes and things didn't go to plan. And I've absolutely felt all of those things too at many points since starting to share my work, especially since starting YouTube. And especially with mistakes. If you've been watching my videos long enough, you've known I've made some whoppers over the last 2 years. But it's all part of the process, and I think sharing work that you think is imperfect or when things haven't gone right is just as important as sharing those perfect projects. The big crafty people and the stamping companies we all love so much surely haven't gotten to where they are without a few hiccups of their own. So there's no reason to hold ourselves to such strict standards. As I mentioned earlier, this video is a Magic Maker project for hobby hoppers, and I was chatting with Trish, the owner, and by the sounds of it, these crafty themed Lawn Fawn items are very popular. Some have already sold out, but they will be back in stock. I think one of the quickest to sell out was this splatter stencil, and I'm not surprised. It is lots of fun. I'll leave the link to Hobby Hoppers in my description for this video. Be sure to check the website out. Trish stocks such awesome craft supplies. I know I show mostly Lawn Fawn, as they're my favourite, but there are so many magical things there for making beautiful projects. It is my go-to place for washi tapes, jelly rolls, hemp cords, Lawn Fawn obviously, watercolour pigments, and heaps more things. So here I have adhered my easel onto my platform. I trimmed the feet just a little so that I can use that lower bar across the bottom as the main point of contact to give my glue a larger and more sturdy surface area to work with, rather than just those little feet. I was worried that the whole easel would bend back, but this seems to support it nicely. I then set up my stool and add some die cut splatters to cover up my tiny inking mistakes. I quickly colour in just a few images. This adorable tiny mouse who will be holding a paintbrush as he creates this positive masterpiece. I add a bunch of ridiculously tiny paint bottles under and around his stool to hide any white supports, and I trim the excess. Now that my final images are adhered, this card is complete. I hope you've loved this tutorial. If so, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you can see what I make next. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.